The ladies will open up Friday against St. Joseph, 6:30. Coach Fico, Lindsay Fico.
I guess I'll start with kind of a state of the union, where we are. I feel like as a team, we're in a really good place, really good headspace. We scrimmaged over the weekend and scored a lot of runs off of pretty good arms. So, my pitching coach would tell you that the pitchers need to be a little bit better, but my hitting coach would tell you that's a really good sign going into this season. It's a weird time because it feels like it takes forever for the season to finally get here. And then you're like, gosh, it's never going to get here, never going to get here. And then the week of games, you look at your staff and you're like, holy moly, it's game week. So we're in that place. We're very, very excited. We've got a core group of leadership and experience that's coming back. Probably the most familiar name and face is Tori Hedgecock, who is a force at third base defensively, but a real big force in the box. Emma Dorval was our starting shortstop last year. You're going to see her probably on both sides of second this year, because we've got a really talented Hannah Rivers that came in as a freshman. So just a lot of really good things, really good buzz about the program. I'm sure you guys have seen, if you follow our social media, we've added 2 really talented people to our staff. We've got Kaylee Harding, who's a recent graduate from FSU, played in that wonderful program there. She's our graduate assistant this year, and then we've also added Devin Flaherty as a volunteer assistant to our staff. So the enthusiasm that they have brought, different sets of eyeballs that are on the team, and just having 2 extra sets of eyeballs that are really, really good has helped our practice remain really kind of picked up the intensity of the practice, but also the nitty-gritty details that sometimes it's a little bit hard to see whenever there's just 3 of you and you're spread out all over the field. But with that, I'll answer any questions that you may have, but we're certainly excited to get started.
And then Tori Hedgecock, you talked about her specifically, all preseason conference players, had a huge explosion from her sophomore year to junior year. What are you looking to get out of her this year?
I mean, a lot of the same. It's Tori has matured a tremendous amount from her freshman year to her senior year now. Tori was a bit timid in her freshman year and knew that she could do it, but didn't really want to ruffle anybody's feathers next to her. And now it's more of a, I know that I can do it, get out of my way, which is great. You need a little bit of that to be able to do that, but we do. We expect her to have a really good year. She expects to have a really good year. I think the biggest thing with a player like that is helping her manage the pressure that comes with that. When you're the name, when you're a face of a program, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. And social media is something that sometimes helps, sometimes it doesn't. But the biggest thing is just keeping her laser focused on the things that she can control.
Sure. And then last year the SoCon was really, really stacked between the top 5 or 6 teams, really about 5 wins separating everybody. How hard is that to kind of just go into a league that's really competitive like that? What kind of things are you looking to see from your team this year as well to kind of get to that next level?
Yeah, I mean, it is. UNCG has kind of run the table most years. Chat ran it last year, winning the regular season conference and the tournament. Those 2 were at the top, and we're kind of right behind them. We were right there in the mix. We were tied for first going into the last 2 weekends of the year. I think the biggest focus is we've always talked about it. You want to win the game within the game, and kind of paying attention to again details that you can control. You can't control who's going to upset who in the weekend that you need to pull 2 games out of a 3-game series, that kind of stuff. But yeah, you could look at it as it's pressure and it's tough, but it makes it a whole lot more exciting. You want to be a part of a league that is competitive, from top to bottom, or if at worst case, at least the top half, and that's where we're started, and that's where we look to stay and to really make another run.
You mentioned in your opening statement kind of like the shock of, oh my gosh, it's game week, but softball's one of the longer collegiate sports seasons. I think it's 55 to 60 games.
It is. It's a ton of games.
How do you like just keep everybody kind of on the same page for that whole kind of stretch of games? Because I know in the weekend we'll sometimes play 3-4 games. So what's kind of your message there?
Yeah, it's kind of came up at practice the other day. I think it's somewhat unrealistic to ask anybody to stay locked in for a full 2 hours of a practice. So what we've focused on more is, hey, you're locked in for this pitch, and then you take your breather, right? And then you lock back in. Can I lock back in when I'm taking an at bat? Can I lock in when I'm hitting off the machine? It's a lot of that during the season, and it's not that it's not that you're taking a pitch off. It's when you're given an off day, take it as an off day. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of all of those things that you need to take care of so we get the best version of them as a player, them as a person when they really need to show up. So we as a coaching staff, we've got a wonderful athletic trainer in Kim Wynn, and have a phenomenal gentleman that's been added to the program, our strength guys, Rashad Jefferson. He's all in, so when you have an athletic trainer and you've got a strength and conditioning guy that's all in, he helps a lot. He helps us as a staff say, hey, the girls need this, or I think that, or so. They know that it's a long haul, but a lot like basketball, you want to be playing your best softball as you're going into conference play. These preseason tournaments where we play a whole bunch of different opponents, one weekend is just kind of is preparing us for conference, so it allows them to. It starts quickly and we hit the ground running, but it gives you a chance to kind of set yourself up the right way for conference play.
Lindsay, noticed last year Hallie Langford added a certain dynamic to your offense, and then when she got hurt, it sort of changed your offense a little bit. What's it been like having her every day back in your lineup again to see how your offense changed?
It's great. We lost Alyssa Woods last year, our starting center fielder, and she was really kind of our starting center fielder since I got the job. So she worked really, really hard there. Having somebody like Hallie Langford that was set to be that, and Liz was probably going to be on one side of her, last year, had she stayed healthy, is huge. She's a leader in my outfield, but she's also a quiet leader in my dugout. A lot of times we have to have conversations with Hal that, hey, I know that you don't say a lot of words, but when you say words, your team listens, and it matters. Having her back in the lineup, and more than likely back at the top of the lineup, is going to be tremendous. It's going to help take pressure off of Tori Hedgecock and Avery Barton and Emma and Lauda, like all of them. And that doesn't even count the new faces, that we've brought into play. So I'm very excited to see what Hallie does this year, and we just all hope and pray that she stays nice and healthy and actually gets to play it out.
I'm interested in the addition of Devin and Kaylee, their initial introductions to your team, that they're not going to be coached by two individuals that obviously hit the snot out of the ball in college, but also got a lot of exposure in the College World Series and Florida State's run. How was that like, and what dynamic have you seen as it goes to your offense and how your offense has improved?
Yeah, the dynamic's been fun. I'd lie to you if I told you it's been all rainbows and unicorns and peachy, because Devin and Kaylee are two very competitive individuals, and whether they realize it or not, like they're going to coach competitively, they're going to teach competitively, they take reps in scrimmages, and they're going to take reps competitively, and so I think more than anything, their enthusiasm and their competitiveness has helped really kind of keep our girls focused. I think it's also helped hearing it from a different voice, hearing it from two voices that have done it at the highest possible level you can do it, right? At the highest standard that you can do it. So we talk a lot about standards, and we have standards and we have core values, but having them come in and just kind of different eyes and different ways of thinking has been tremendous.
Okay, anything else for Coach Fico? Okay, thanks to everybody
Thank you.
for coming. See, we got a lot going on. Appreciate it, media members. If you'll please eat lunch first. Thank you to coaches and players. Thank you for all the Mercer athletic staff members coming and showing your support. We appreciate y'all. All right, media members, if you'll please lead us